Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Daily Teachings. Before we start, just a quick disclaimer. Anything we discuss is just for educational purpose only, nothing is financial advice. Alright guys, so another red day in the market, big bearish day, but our system kept us on the right side. We were short right at the open and our system helped us make good trades on the downside. So a lot to cover today. If you struggle in the bear market, if you struggle in the red market, if you struggle on a red day, watch this recap, watch each segment, or just you can go to the ticker that you're interested in on the YouTube recap. But before we start, let's just do a quick introduction. Anybody who's new to our X accounts, new to my YouTube, or new to our community. So anything that I discuss is mostly from our community or anything I share on X or in YouTube previous videos, any trade setups and day trades and swing charts or whatever. But whatever we do is based upon a repeatable system that thousands of traders use to trade across the world. Ripster EMA Cloud System. And the cloud system is not just the one indicator, it consists of the various concepts that I share on my free website ripstereducation.com, in my community webinars, all day on voice in community, on X. So all these teachings, help us to stay consistent, trade consistently, keeping our losers small, our winners big. Because a system is how you trade, setup is what you trade. And we have these repeatable setups based upon our system that we execute every day. So every morning, me and my team, we make a game plan. Earnings season is pretty busy for us because there's a lot of earnings today. So although we are looking at news plays, earning plays, index stocks, news, we trade futures, everything. But today was a big lot of earnings today. So we had to plan for the earnings. I usually highlight anything I'm interested in. I highlight it as a red. And you will see that most of those red plays, we traded those. So we'll take a look at those. And so we make an initial game plan in the pre-market. At live we get support levels, resistance levels, and then we make a game plan for those tickers for the day. And we share this in the community before the market opens, so everybody can trade it. And we also have we trade Psych, QQQ, IWM indexes, ETFs, the major big sevens. We call our daily plays, which we play every day, and we provide these levels to the traders so they can use these levels and trade on their own. And we also trade futures. I provide the futures live guidance in the community on voice. Today was a big day to trade futures, amazing day. So I'll show you my timestamp guidance there. And we also trade crypto stocks, coin, MSTR, based upon if the crypto is strong or crypto is weak. We do trade IPOs. We'll cover that FIG IPO. A lot of traders were trading it in the community. We do trade low floors. We have a low floor room as well. And this is another repeatable strategy that everybody should learn. It's called RIPS day 2 day 3 plays, which is I did a webinar on it as well. There are some decent plays on the day 2 day 3. UPS has been amazing play on day 2 day 3 setup for a long time. HIMS, OKLO, we'll discuss those plays as well. So I'm usually live in my community in the first few hours of the market open. I'm live on the voice. So I'm live on the voice, and I'm going through the key setups, the key guidance, what we can trade. We are not an alert service. We are educational based live trading community where everybody tries to trade the repeatable setups, repeatable system. Whatever we have on game plans, we keep eyes on those stocks. So and we have a lot of tools. We have 3-4 option flow scanners, we have stock scanners, we have multiple live screens, we have breaking news alerts, multiple breaking news services, we have voice alerts on stock scanner alerts. We have order flow, hold on hold. We have tools which are over like $300, $400, $500 per month, which are free in the community, so that we try to work together to find opportunities in the market so we can have a bigger wins and smaller losers. So anyways, let's start with today's recap. Lot to learn today, especially if you struggle on a red day. We will talk about all our short setups. It's almost similar to my last recap that I did, but even better. So let's start. Alright, so let's start with SPY QQQ. What happened to the SPY QQQ and NASDAQ futures today. So we'll discuss all that. So red day, decent red day. We traded almost 200% ATR on NASDAQ SPY. Remember, when we trade so much ATR, that's when you make a lot of good trades, because that's and it was coming, right? It was coming. We can't just keep running every day, every day, every day. We were expecting. Now we'll see what happens tomorrow. But so anyways, what was the plan for us in the pre? So plan for us in the pre-market on SPY QQQ. So let's look at, watch the VIX 1520 holds, may make market profit take mode. If that means if VIX, which is our VIX strategy, holds 15 or 1520, the market will go into profit take mode. So you have a plan. So what is the plan? That if VIX holds 1520, the market will be profit taking, market will be bearish. So how do you make money of that? How do you make consistent trades of that? You know you're gonna short, you're gonna buy puts, and you maybe you trade leverage ETFs, inverse long, maybe you trade Nasdaq futures, you short sell Nasdaq futures. So this is the plan, and you know what you're gonna do, and with Ripster EMA Clouds. So what happens when the market open? So what do you see? So let's draw our gaps first. Let's make sure we have our gaps. So we have our gaps right here. This is the one gap. This is the second gap. I'm going to go a little faster here. I've covered this 100 times. So this here with two gaps, right? So this is the two gaps we have. So you see the flush, you short it. You see the bounce back to 3450. Support becomes a resistance, you short it. You see the 512 bounce on QQQ, you short it. You short it all the way down to the MTF. You cover, you short it midday. You cover, you short it midday under the MTF clouds. Full gap fill, full gap fill. All you do is wait for the pops and short. You try to long them, but the long doesn't work, you switch on the shorts. So you will say, hey Rip, yeah, that sounds too easy. Yeah, but it is kind of easy if you just follow the system. And I was in the voice coming and going all day, and I'll show you how we do it every morning. So right away I told the traders it's a bearish move, amateur shorts. Amateur shorts means this is the quick morning short you can take, and smaller sizes. So the amateur shorts were working. We flushed down there. Our target was the MTF. And when we bounced a little bit at 10.21, I told the traders there's no bullish signal. The Ripster labels were still bearish. And when we rejected, you hold the shorts. You add into your amateur shorts. And we rejected, and we flushed all the way down. And we hit our MTF targets on SPY. We hit our MTF targets on QQQs. Now, once we hit those targets, the next target I gave was, let's see here, there was this one. Let's take a look here. Yeah, this one. So this was our morning short. We closed the shorts when we pushed over the 512s. You close your puts, whatever you're trading, when we push over 512. But when you see this failure, you hit it right away. So I told the traders it's back bearish again and short it again. This is our midday repeatable setups. And I gave the target on 565 on the QQQs. I gave the SPY target on 631.40s. And you see that I gave the targets and we hit all the targets. I hit our 63.140 right here. We hit QQQ target of 565 right here. So all the targets were hit. So this was, and always look at the ATR, 120% ATR, and we did dump at the end of the day too. So you were short in the open, you were short here, you short this fail, you short this fail, you short here, you short here, you short here. So that's what you do every day with the system when the market is bearish. You trade the Nasdaq futures short. Look at the levels on the Nasdaq futures we gave in the pre-market. Once those levels were gone, ES and Nasdaq futures just continued to dump. Now many ways to trade it. You could trade leverage ETF long, you could trade SQQ long, same thing. You can buy at 1750, 1,000 shares, 2,000 shares, risk $400-500, make $2,000, right? All day long on inverse of Nasdaq, right? It's SQQQ. Nasdaq goes down, SQQQ goes up. You can trade QID. So that's how you make, best use of this red day in the market so that you are not losing, but you are making consistent trades so that you can grow your account with these trade setups. And now if you are trading the puts, that's good too. If you're trading puts, let's take a look at the puts here. Not even if you're not trading lotos, we can take a look at the puts for, let's take a look for tomorrow. So 565 puts, they went, in the morning they ran. So let's take a look here. In the morning, they ran from 57 cents to $1.50, 200%. Middle of the day, they ran from 90 cents to all the way to $3, 300%. So your $1,000 and $2,000, right? The key here is to keep your size small. Follow the Ripster cloud. Wait for your entry, not just chase in FOMO. I keep telling my traders in the community, you cannot chase in the FOMO. You have to trade closer to the clouds. Get confidence, trade small. Closer to the clouds, trade small. The system works, but a system, same system, two traders can trade differently. One trader will be a loser with the system, one trader will be successful with the system, because one trader is managing his size and his risk according to the system, but the other trader, even though he has a system, he just still wants to, FOMO, size big, not respect the system. So anyways, so you see that how we, you saw the pre-market planning, and not to mention the wicks. Let's see where wicks was. All you had to do was short buy puts as soon as wicks broke out of the 15-20. And even if you held it all day long, you see the 15 level, it bounced from the 15-20, pushed to 17. So wicks strategy, pretty handy, has changed many lives. You can learn it too. So wicks strategy today, wicks, gap fill, and profit taking, everything was A plus. One of the traders had the best day of the whole year, best month, because of how consistent. We never even talked about the longs. Yes, we had some calls, some traders tried to call it, but our today day was just about short, puts. Even if your swings are hurting, you cut your swings which are breaking your levels, and you trade short. Hedge your accounts, do something. But make sure whenever there's a bear market, you can still grow your account, make profitable trades with the bear market using Ripster EMA Clouds System. So now you don't know that the market was short. Let's look at NVDA. And it's not that, I was just sharing in my community. I also tweeted it out this morning about the bearishness in the market. Let's take a look at those, what I said in the morning to my Twitter followers, right? So let's take a look here. So I continuously showed the traders how to do it. So let's take a look. We'll go to the Microsoft in a minute, but you can see that QQQ SPY Microsoft shorts at the open, Meta holding the gap, CVNA squeeze. So you see that the point was it's a short, right? So I try to share with my followers as well, so they have an idea who are trying to learn if they are not in the community. So what was the short there? Okay, so as first short was NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, right at the open, I tell the profit taking shorts. The first thing I said is a profit taking short. All you needed to do was hold it, your first target MTF. Yes, you stopped out here, but you see this 3450 rejections right here. You reshort it, NVIDIA, and you get your targets, right? All over. So NVIDIA puts, if you can trade NVIDIA puts, you can trade NVDS, which is a leverage ETF. So it was a decent move, 80 cents to $2. The next time 90 cents to $3. So there's opportunities with the cloud system. So anyways, you can see my timestamp guidance here on NVIDIA. Let's go to the pre-market planning. Pre-market planning on NVIDIA was cautious of profit taking. I already told the traders that we already know what could happen, what has more chances of happening. I didn't say go long. I didn't say that cautious of squeeze. I said cautious of profit taking. Means if you're going to long, watch out of profit taking and make money with profit taking. So anyways, that was NVIDIA. Pretty clear, pretty clean with market week, NVIDIA week, SPY week, QQQ week, gap fill, beautiful trade. Right, so now let's look like one of the best trades today, which was Microsoft. So we know that the top stocks, 8 stocks make up the market. It's important to know the stocks which make up the market. All the big sevens, mag sevens, all these stocks which make up the market. So we need to always know them. And if Microsoft is dumping, if Google is dumping, and you could short anything, but Microsoft was a news top earning play, one of the biggest companies in the world, one of the most traded names in the world. So we definitely have to trade, watch it. So it was our number one play in the earnings. Let's take a look here. So Microsoft, what was the plan? Microsoft plan was all-time highs. If 550 holds, long it. If 555 breaks, gap and crap it. Breakout is over pre-market highs. Now you know that SPY is weak and QQQ is weak, so you have no business looking for longs. Nobody all day looked for Microsoft longs in the community. We were only short. We were just looking for short opportunities as long as it's under the cloud. Anyways, as soon as the market opened, I told the traders to profit taking shorts. I gave the target of 540, then I gave the target of 535, and we hit our 535 target by 11 a.m., and then next target I gave was 532. We even hit our 532 target, and we even hit MTF target. So you can see, no BS, no hindsight, pre-market planning, just like I'm teaching you. As soon as 555 breaks, 55, just buy those puts, short it. If you shorted shares, 100 shares, you made almost $20-25 per share profit. Maybe you risk how much you risk. You risk like probably this $300 and you made $2,000, right? That's a good risk reward on 100 shares. If you buy the puts, then that's fine too, as long as you understand how the options work and you have done your enough study on the options. Even those were not bad. I mean, the 550 puts for us were pretty good. Let's take a look at 550 puts. So let me see here. Yeah, so 550 puts also, they went from like $4 all the way to $14, few 100%. So or you could have tried 545s. They ran from $2 all the way to you can see that they ran from $2 all the way to what, $10. Yeah, that was like a 400% gain on those as well. So that's how you do it. That's how you got the home runs with the system. My favorite setup, Gap and Crap, Microsoft. Let's go to the next one. So next one we're going to talk about is ARM. So ARM, what was it on ARM? Okay, let's take a look on ARM. So ARM, which was our let's take a look, earning play. So the plan on ARM, I like ARM, bearish bias to short the pops. Look carefully. What did I say? Bearish bias to short the pops. If you didn't short it right at the open, which you should have, if you focused on it, you got your pop. You got your pop right into the Ripster EMA Clouds. You will never find a system like this, which entry is coming to you. Now, if you're chasing here, that's a problem, right? So we short, it was a short, told it, pre-market guys, and shorted. When I saw 10 a.m., I told the trader it will bounce to 512, so wait. And it did bounce. After I said it bounced for $5. Then we hit the short. Then I put the stops 146.51. And from that short, we went another $7 fade all day long. Beautiful, beautiful trade. Multiple 100% winner on the options. Also multiple risking. What was the risk here? Look at the risk. Look at the timestamp 1028 and look here. What was the risk? $1.50 risk. You're risking $150, right? And how much you're making? You're making almost $600, right? So that's one risk to 3-4 reward trade. So that's how you want to do it. ARM, beautiful, beautiful trade. Let's go to the next one. All right, so next one we're going to look at is Meta. So let's see what was happening with Meta today. Meta was actually, didn't really work out for us. It was the loser. The reason being, we tried to short Meta and initially at the open, but it did not break it, did not confirm, and we tried to long it, and then we didn't get a breakout. So let's see what was the plan on Meta. Plan on Meta was long if 765 holds, gap and crap under it, watch amateur move. Look carefully. Long if 765 holds. So what do you see? Where did it swipe from? 765. So it bounced from 765, almost 20 points. You see that, right? So magically the level I gave in the pre-market, and it swiped from there and all the way to 74, right? So we did trade long it. We risked 770. Our breakout was 783, but we never got our consistent breakout. And then it pulled back, and we had a $5-6 risk. We had to stop out, and it went on the chop all the way. And the options lost their IV, their value, and all day it did nothing. Sideways, chop. Right now, after hours, it's giving up a little bit. Maybe tomorrow it gives us a gap and crap. But you see that when this, and it didn't even flush with the market. That was a problem. Neither did it go up, neither did it go down. This usually happens when the market makers are trying to hold it because, they have positions hedged. But that's why Microsoft Meta was a loser, because it didn't go anywhere, right? You can read this, pause the screen, and you can go through the timestamp guidance. But that was Meta for us, loser today. So next one we're going to take a look at CVNA. So CVNA, let's take a look here. CVNA, I mean, it was a good long for us in the morning. but it never really followed through. So it was a good long. I gave a long right at the open when I saw this breakout. Stops at 390. You buy here, you're risking $7 8 you're looking to make $30 $40, right? The first target was 410. We did hit 410. Next target was 420. We did not hit 420. By 10:10 we hit 413, and then we started to drop, and then we had to cut because we kept moving our stops up. So that's why we were safe. Remember, we logged at 935 at the open. When it pushed from that 400 level to 413, we moved our stops break even, and then when it pulled back, you could easily make like $12 $13 per share profit on it, but we did not, because market was so heavy. This trade did not really give us much after that. So yeah, so next one we're going to talk about is AMSC. So AMSC is an example of fundamentally strong stock, which the stocks which usually growth stocks traders like to invest on, and technically superb chart. Fundamentally strong stock, technically superb chart. So why was it? So usually when I teach in my teachings for growth investing and all that, I always say that the earnings, the EPS year and year over year, and the revenue year over year should increase significantly, and the chart should be going upwards in last 3-4 quarters. That's the stock you should looking to invest in, right? So AMSC provides the semiconductor infrastructure and semiconductor field. So it has a very pretty bullish chart even coming into it. So in the pre-market planning, what I talked about AMSC was 52-week high chart, bullish bias to long, 50 Psych key psychological level. 50 Psych is a key psychological level. So you long or 50, and it's also all-time high. So bunch of those things coming together, and you see that AMSC ran all day long. Now, since I talked about that, why was it? So let's look at the results of our American superconductor. So its revenue were increased 80% year over year, and that's huge, right? And not only that, their EPS also increased. So what you see that EPS growth of American superconductor is 212%, and revenue growth is 50%. Impressive, right? So these are the growth stocks which go from a smaller market cap and grow pretty significantly, and continues to run, because these are the growth stocks you should be invested in. So anyways, so that's why these are the teachings we use. And RGB in the community today, who is one of the very old, is one of the most impressive traders and one of the impressive students I have, who is always guiding the traders with these A+ setups, and he knows these teachings pretty well, so he knows why to focus on that. So he guided the traders long on that AMSC, and also you saw the pre-market planning. As soon as it pushes over that, you long it, breaks 50, you long it, and all day long, 54 target, 55 target, 56 target, every target was met on AMSC, right? So weekly, monthly breakout, all-time highs, quarter over quarter, big sales growth, year over year growth, EPS growth, revenue growth. So that gives you a high probability trade setup, high probability growth investing stock, which you should focus on. So anyways, beautiful trade on MSC. There are many examples of such trades back in the day. You should, if you look up, you will find many examples of similar stocks, same concept. Nothing is too high. You just need to find a risk level to take them long. All right, so next one we're going to take a look at is, let's take a look at next one here. So next one I'm going to take a look at is CVNA. Let's see what was happening with CVNA. No, sorry, we have to look at SHAK. So SHAK. So let's look at SHAK. Was a pretty good range today on SHAK actually. So let's take a look. So let's go back. Let's see what the plan. I always like to trade this stock because it has a lot of range. So SHAK today. So it had an MTF resistance above. We were watching in case it curls, we had a neutral bias. So that was the plan, 124.25 support and 126 support. As soon as I saw it that it breaks that pre-market lows, it's a short. So I told the trader that it's a short, and even after later when it was fading, I said it's still a short, still heavy. I gave a target of 115. We hit 115 and we actually even hit 113. You know, even if you missed the original ads, you know, you still got $5 from that 118 short, but you had to risk $3 that's there. But if you short it at the open, your risk was a little lower. But you could see that SHAK faded all the way to 113 under MTF, under 1 hour clouds, and it went. We stopped out here 118. You see that, and then it curled almost $6 to the 34.50 target. So beautiful. So that's how you can trade short and long, short with the clouds and long with the curls. And this curl was not just a simple curl; it was also a cup and handle kind of flag curl, which is always good. So next one we're going to look at is RBLX. So RBLX, gap and crab setup for us. Let's take a look how are we traded RBLX. RBLX earnings, 52-week high, careful of gap and crab. I already said that in the pre-market, careful of gap and crab. Only long if 142 holds. And if you see, this trade didn't come to us at the open. It took some time. At 10 a.m. I saw the weakness, and that's when I told the traders gap and cap shorted. Put the stops at 145. The target is 140.38. And if I forward, you know, if you look at it like this is what we were looking at. And if you see that price action slow, hit 140, hit 138. And then I told the traders we're going to get more. So RBLX from 144, you know, it was almost $8 per share profit. What was your risk? Your risk was probably $100, maybe $200. And you could, on given risking $200, you made $800. That was a pretty good risk reward on that. And if you were trading options, which, you know, and RBLX does have, we'll take a look there. So let's take a look at the RBLX puts here. The RBLX puts, you know, they're very liquid, but they did go from $1.50 all the way to $4.50. Those puts, you know, 100, you could easily turn into $4 grand. You just had to hold with the system. You just did have to hold with the system, trading that, you know, RBLX put. And you could always trade, you know, the leverage ETF on RBLX, which is RBLX U. Let's take a look. That's a long RBLX. Yeah, you could short that too. Yeah, not enough volume on that. But anyways, beautiful trade, RBLX short. You can see the pre-market planning. Pretty clean gap and crap. No confusion at all. Let's go to the next one. All right, so let's look at the FIG IPO today. This FIG IPO today was FIG IPO opened up today, and it was all about $100. And a lot of traders, when I told the traders if it hold hundreds, it can squeeze. A lot of traders on the Twitter X were asking me about the targets. So I told them the target is 150, because I know whenever an IPO is, you know, low float, I mean that relatively lower float, and it's squeezing higher, you should expect, because everybody's trying to short it, because everybody thinking it's overvalued, those traders get stuck, and they get squeezed in after hours. And that's exactly what I told the traders, that you can see that 150, somebody asked me the target, I gave the 150 target, and we almost hit that 150 after hours. The reason being it's about 100, right? RGB was trading this on FIG, you know, so he was he was long. A lot of traders in the community were actually long on that FIG from 100. You can see RGB was long, bunch of other traders were trading long, because, and I also mentioned that FIG will squeeze after hours, and it did squeeze, right? I told the trader it's not done yet. If you're trading, you can hold it, because let's say you're adding at 105s, 108s, 100 shares, right? I told them just add a little bit of shares. You're risking $500, $600, but look at that, you're making $2,000, because if you're adding at 108, you have $100 risk. And you better be able to trade after hours, and then it goes to 140. You made, you know, $2,000-3,000 on that $100 shares, that 100 shares, right? Once it goes over the opening price, it squeezes. So that's how you trade IPOs, right? You need a level to risk, and that when 100 was holding, that 100 gave you a level to risk. And I did mention that after hour squeeze, and when it was staying over 100, you don't short it, and you can use the 3-minute chart on the Ripster clouds if you want, and then it was good, right? So that was fake. Beautiful. We'll see. It's still squeezing. It might squeeze for a bit before it comes down. Options will open in few days. Let's go to the next one. There were many other setups today. Recap will go super long, but OKLO and I moved HIMS and OKLO. I put them as a top day 2 setups today. And if you look at both of them, OKLO and HIMS were beautiful longs in the morning, and OKLO was a nice breakout. HIMS was a nice breakout. You should always keep these two on your. I call them hotties. And of course, they're going to dump when the market dump with the 512 breakdown, when you can short it. But this was nice longs. Now it's again our day to watch tomorrow and see what happens there. So anyways, take care. Bye-bye.